Good morning, all you lovely, lovely people. What a way to start a video. Never mind, each to their own. Um, I watched, I'm subscribed to Stephen on his videos, and it seems that he is blessed with a little piece of jungle around him so he can go back and forth to have a nice backdrop. But unfortunately, I tried to have a little bit of nice backdrop inside a gubu or like a bamboo hut this morning and go live, but I wasn't able to sort out the orientation on the phone. It tells me I'm horizontal, but it was telling me that the problem was it was locked. So I'll have to work that one out if I want to do lives where they're like this. But anyway, back to my thought for today is, whoa, it's getting hot here. I think it's going to be 43 here and around Manila at the moment, which is pretty warm even for the Philippines. There are warnings on TV about keeping well, what do you call it, hydrated. And I'm sure that there'll be a number of cases where people will succumb to the heat, even here in the Philippines, where they're used to heat every day. But it's always difficult to come up with every day with a thought for the day without it feeling like you're struggling to find words to put together. But one thing that I have noticed so often, and all channels probably succumb to the same, and that is that many of you just watch the first 2 or 3 minutes and that's it. We have our click, which means we have our view. Some of you kindly put a thumbs up, and that adds to our daily total for that particular moment. Sometimes you catch on to a subject that drags your attention. Now, for instance, I have a beautiful Filipina right here, sitting there nodding away to me behind. Maybe you might stay attending the video for a little longer, but unfortunately, I'm not really into that. So you'll have to do with me with a pair of bottom teeth, no top ones at the moment. The other ones are healing before I put them in. They are here, but I haven't put them in this morning. And it is difficult to come up with a thought for the day. I mean, we can talk about things that I did before I came to the Philippines. We could talk about things that affect us every day here. It does concern me, though, that with all of the highlighted attention on that so-called Russian stroke American, and some of you take offense that I even call him an American. Well, sorry guys, I'm an Australian, but I was born in England. I spent 18 years in England as a child, as a young person, and I emigrated to Australia and New Zealand. So that makes me a bit of this and a bit of that. And I know that President Trump, your current president in America, has hinted that he would like to change the law that allows for people born in America but to illegal migrants or illegal immigrants to not be afforded American citizenship. Well, I'm afraid, guys, I know you get touchy when you start talking about America, but like, why is it that you get that way? We know that you promote the idea that you're the most powerful nation in the world, the strongest nation in the world, the most westernized nation in the world. But I've got news for you. What is your power? Your power is maybe dominance, economic dominance. You are large percentage of people in the world, some 300 plus million of you. You're a big source of supply for people wanting to sell their goods. And therefore, it's natural that you believe that you're so important. Now, the same could be applied to England. Some 80 plus million people. That's a lot of people. Not as many as America, but it's still a lot of people. And many of those people are a little different from yourself. They are more refined. They've lived with a bit more culture around them. They've been able to easily travel to Europe and go and see and be absorbing all of the culture that makes them English. They've gone to Germany, they've gone to France, they've gone to Italy. So they've experienced where this Roman Empire came from. They've seen where the 100-Year War was from the French. And they've also seen how the tulips from Amsterdam have come from Amsterdam and why. Why the big dikes are created and why the big wall that keeps the North Sea out of flooding Holland. They know the history of Germany. They know the history before, way before, the Second and First World Wars. They've seen the Alps of Switzerland, Austria. They've gone to the places round Salzburg and sung that little famous song, The Hills Are Alive. Now, for you in America, many of you just dream of that, or maybe just imagine. But then, equally, a lot of English have never been to America, have never experienced the Grand Canyon or the big plains of Arizona or the big high-rises of New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, wherever they go. They've never traveled in a tram up the hills of San Francisco. They've never walked or even driven near the Golden Gate. But does that mean that they're less of a person? No. They have their own culture, some 250 odd years of culture. And it's like Australia. Australia was discovered initially by a Dutchman. That's why it was called, what was it called? Van Diemen's Land. But it was essentially taken, conquered, declared as a satellite part of England by Captain Cook in the Bounty. And most Australians know that as their history, just like Americans know about the Civil War, the slavery trade, which again, England had its slavery trade too. And it is only ignorance by some people that they choose to say, well, we won the war for you. Did you? You provided us with hard cash. You provided us with steel and objects that we could use to fight the Germans and to hopefully push them back. But if you want to look at people who suffered the most, you don't look very far east, but to look at Russia. Today, Russia. Russia lost millions of people, sacrificed millions of people to help the world get rid of Nazism. That's the real history. There were people who were turncoats, just like there were in America, in different times of your own history. They were Italians who, under Mussolini's rule, also decided to back a losing side, and that was Adolf Hitler. I don't need to be lectured, as I'm sure you don't, those that have a good understanding of the real history of the world. We learnt it at school, didn't you? Or is it like here in the Philippines, where you go to college and you learn how to dance, how to mimic, how to sing, in addition to becoming an accountant, a hotel worker, getting degrees in things that enable you to get work overseas? It's an enchanting way of looking at life, but is it not the same as many of the champions of industry around the world always say to governments? We need more courses that teach the young how to prepare themselves for the real world, that is work every day. We need more IT specialists. When I was young, we need more plumbers, we need more carpenters, we need more architects. And so many governments have just ignored that. They've whitewashed across the whole thing, just continued using universities as a means to make money, to enable people to travel from other parts of the world and spend their hard-earned dollars, rupees, whatever, here in Australia or there in America. They're all the same. I see that Harvard University, one of the most prestigious universities, colleges in America, because it chooses to follow a doctrine that is not sympathetic with the thoughts of the majority of people in America, it's had its government funding removed, some $2.2 billion. That's a lot of money to lose coming in. And it's true that wealthy people donate and contribute to some of the colleges that they may well have been going to, their fathers and their mothers, prior to them themselves making their living. And it's great to see them philanthropy going on. But I'm sure it won't replace the 2.2 billion that is there. Let's just see how quickly the people in charge at Harvard decide to come to their senses and maybe start teaching rather than pushing propaganda in their colleges and pouring out people which often are described as left thinking. What is left, what is right? It doesn't really matter, but America has unfortunately exported a lot of this to other countries by its thinking. It has allowed the world to listen to them as if they're the arbitrators of good thought and good practice. You have a chance now to put things back to a realistic level. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm just simply a person who thinks with their mind and thinks that there is something good in everything we do. To see your president standing up there in your, what we would call your Houses of Parliament, where you have the opposition now, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, the Schiffs, standing there silently, not even bothering to applaud the good things that Trump has been able to achieve under his administration, but instead to just sit there like dumb people. Why aren't you, Americans who voted for these people, saying, come on guys, award people some right when they do things that are good? You know, you leave the gate open. Do you applaud people? If you find a way to shut the gate, why not applaud someone for doing that? You're helping not just yourself. Or hang on, are they helping themselves? I think they're sitting there quietly thinking, oh shit, we're not going to make as much money, darling, this year. He seems to be shutting the door on that. And the point is that this is where we, other foreigners, look at America and say, well, at least some common sense is starting to sink in to a administration, not necessarily Trump's. It could have been Joe Brown, whoever you voted in to be your next president. After all, isn't the job of a politician to make our lives easier, to make it better, to give us more hope? Is it not the place of Americans to at least acknowledge that sometimes you can have a feeling of supporting one team against another, but when one team does something that can help everybody, why not at least admit it? You're not letting your own side down by doing that. What you're showing is that you have the ability to see both sides of the coin. And I'm sorry that I have to rant on about America, but America coughs and we sneeze. The rest of the world is held ransom by the thoughts and desires of America in this whole planet. Just like America worries about what China's doing. What China's doing now is going through a lot of suffering, not just the authorities, but also the people. There's all sorts of rumblings. And I feel sorry for the people of all of these countries that will definitely have change come to them. But remember, it's the politicians that got together and said, oh, we'll have world trade this way, or we'll have world health this way. Who gave them that mandate to do that? You did, by giving them the power to be a politician. You really think that the man or the woman walking down a road, shaking hands with you, kissing your child, being nice in a McDonald's food bar or wherever, cares about you? He cares about his job. It's his job to be a politician. If he doesn't get in his seat, in his constituency, he has to find a real job or live off the wealth of what he's acquired in the last decade, maybe in his lifetime pursuit to be a politician. What is a politician? A politician is a mouthpiece, a person who decides for you what is best for you. And he only starts to say, he or she, what you want to hear when it's time to be elected into power. And the world is the same no matter which country you're living in. We're all the same in Australia, in New Zealand, and in England. We all do the same thing. They make all sorts of promises. And we're no different here, I'm sure. But we won't go there. That's their business. But guys, don't be angry that somebody is thinking about the way your country has an effect on everybody. At the moment, I'm watching the currency go up and down all over the place. Why? Because of words from politicians. Panic in the money markets, in the game house, the casino called the stock market. Don't think for 1 minute that you investing your money isn't just helping other people get rich. And maybe yourself as well, if you're clever enough to get in front of the action. But the everyday person, we are all affected by America. And we do have the ability, I don't say we have the right, but we have the ability to think for ourselves, hopefully, while we're alive. And we do have different opinions about England, about Australia, about New Zealand, about the Philippines. And we express them in a way that is respectful. I haven't rubbished America. I've just pointed out a few things that you guys need to realize that some of you choose to get away from it all. Come to the Philippines, enjoy the sun, enjoy the happiness, the people, the generosity of the people here. just like Australians and English and Kiwis and Europeans do the same. And fortunately, the majority of us have a good time. We make the best of it, just like we would in our own country. Some of us fail, some of us start again. But at the end of the day, we're all seeking happiness, stress-free life, and hopefully the enjoyment of occasionally looking at news from around the world and realizing too how lucky we are to be alive here in the Philippines. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it too. Put it on Facebook. Wherever you want to share me, you can share me, guys and girls. And I hope that next time we're able to talk, I have a double set of teeth, so I look a little bit more appetizing to the eye, even if I do look like Herman Munster. So all the best to you all. Have a lovely evening and a great day. And also a happy Easter holidays. Bye now.